Welcome everyone. This is Mary Vandenplas, Director of Research and Operations here at Burtch Works. Today, our Digital and Web Analytics Recruiting Specialist, Kate Bronars, will be sharing her top 2019 trends as well as their implications for professionals and employers in this space. Just a few quick logistics items before we dive in. Only the presenters will be speaking, so your microphones are muted. We'll have a short Q&A at the end, and you can submit your questions throughout the talk using the chat function on the left side of your screen. If you have experienced technical issues, please submit those through the chat box as well. Finally, today's session is being recorded and will be available on our YouTube channel shortly. So if you missed part of it or would like to share it with a colleague, you're welcome to do so. Now I'd like to introduce your speaker for today, Kate Bronars. Burtch Works Digital and Web Analytics Recruiting Specialist, Kate spent 10 years in research positions using data and insights to drive business decisions before transitioning into recruiting. Kate works on nationwide placements from entry level up to digital strategy leaders, and since she speaks with hundreds of professionals every year, she has a unique vantage point on developing marketing trends. She often shares her considerable insights on the digital and web analytics market on the Burtch Works blog. Over the past several years, Burtch Works has been repeatedly mentioned in the press, including the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, CNBC, InformationWeek, the Chicago Tribune, and Mashable. And last year, we were recognized by Forbes as one of America's best recruiting firms. Kate, I will turn things over to you.
All right. Well, thank you, Mary, and thank you to everyone for joining me today. This is officially the first webinar for the Digital and Web Analytics discipline here at Burtch Works, so we are making some history this morning. And with that exciting news, let's go ahead and move on to the topics at hand. Today I'll be talking about 5 major trends that I'm seeing in the digital and web space, as well as how these trends might impact you, whether you're a professional looking at your individual career strategy or a hiring manager evaluating your team or resource needs. The first trend I'm seeing is the rise of MarTech. So with the increasingly complex nature of marketing technology, we're seeing many employers wonder if they're taking full advantage of the tools they are currently utilizing. Marketing tools like Salesforce offer a plethora of services and options that can be difficult to parse out and master without an experienced guide to help you. Recently, I'm beginning to see an increased demand for experts that can optimize the company's usage of connected cloud tools and make sure they're getting their money's worth. So what does this trend look like for professionals? As these marketing tools become more readily available, companies want to ensure they are realizing the potential of their newly acquired marketing platforms and ensure they are getting the most out of their investment. To ensure both of these points are met, I'm starting to see opportunities emerge where a professional's entire role might be aligned on one tool or even a cloud of tools. This role might be responsible for owning the performance capabilities, ensuring adequate training internally, or even quantifying the success of MarTech initiatives. These tools are also an important aspect of understanding the customer journey, which we'll talk about a little bit later in this presentation as well. And for employers, this trend is a little less straightforward. Hiring decisions become absolute key when tackling MarTech challenges. The right individuals skilled in the technology and the knowledge on how to harness that technology can be hugely beneficial in evaluating which product could be right for your organization or your specific needs. As there are a wealth of tools available, understanding company objectives can help guide the selection process, whether it's identifying customer segments or creating email and retargeting campaigns. It is important to find the tool that will work seamlessly with existing company solutions. The second trend I'm seeing is that companies are looking for more technical tools, specifically SQL, among digital professionals. Technical tools haven't always been necessary within digital roles, but being able to combine and pull data across multiple sources has allowed digital professionals to see broader context and root causes of campaign successes. SQL in particular is becoming a necessary tool within a digital professional's toolkit. And in some cases, I'm even seeing requests for R and Python emerge as potentially a preferred language on the team. So very interesting trend there. So what does this mean for professionals? Having more technical tools under your belt is an excellent way to position yourself for today's market. With data needs only increasing, the more capable you are of managing different data sources and adding value through data manipulation or visualization, the better. And learning these tools is not as complicated as you might think. There are many resources available online to help get you started and take you through real-world examples. Sometimes all you need is a library card for something like lynda.com or a small investment for something like, say, DataCamp just to get started. For a professional wanting to sharpen their technical skills, I do highly recommend talking to your supervisors or other internal professionals to help you get started and maybe make recommendations on what would work best for you. And for employers, training up current employees can be a great way to add this skill to your internal teams, and even to help junior talent develop their career path. Of course, hiring some leaders already skilled within these disciplines is also a great way to help build a practice in-house and help everyone get on the same page. The third trend I'm seeing is what I'm going to refer to as the curious candidate. If there is one term I hear most often when describing a desired candidate, it is curious. Sometimes I often hear them refer to it as someone always asking, what's next? Most organizations we're finding are remaining a bit flat these days. So curiosity could be a good way to demonstrate leadership ability. Understanding what questions to ask, which issues to solve, and directing analysis can help showcase an individual as a subject matter expert and a valuable member of the team. Now again, what does this mean for professionals? To put it bluntly, this is all about asking questions and not waiting around for direction from leadership. Also, being able to demonstrate how and why an initiative is important to the team will help internal stakeholders see value. And that becomes even more important when you can demonstrate that using data. That said, be cognizant of your time and effort. It seems so silly to mention, but internal initiatives need to be undertaken with caution and should not disrupt performance objectives or deadlines. And thinking about this in combination with the MarTech trend I'm seeing and the technical skills could be an interesting combination and opportunity for candidates. Ask yourself, do I need additional technical tools to help address a passion project or to enable myself to dig further into the data? And by thinking about what opportunities could help you and your team succeed together, this could be a stepping stone to something bigger and better for your team. And for employers, start to think about how best to enable the talent you have and empower them to do their job better and more efficiently. Investing in managers that will help build autonomous, curious teams that feel accountable for certain aspects of a team or company's success and give them a little runway to showcase their best skills. The next trend I'm seeing is the demand for voice of the customer, or what I'll refer to as VOC. And this trend is really growing, with many potential areas to gather data points to help understand your customer journey. I'm going to focus today on digital and web analytics specifically as data points. at the core of this trend, it's really all about a better understanding of how customers are interacting with your brand and harnessing this data to isolate and remove potential frustration points. So how does this trend affect professionals? For VOC, it's all about removing those potential frustration points. The elimination of frustration within the process can certainly lead to a better conversion on an e-commerce platform and help illuminate other usability issues within a website. If we think about this a little bit further, a good step is watching search terms within your website. Seeing a term or a phrase regularly within that search field could highlight a topic or product that is difficult for your consumers to find. Additionally, understanding how and why your customers access your website through SEO and SEM efforts or marketing campaigns can help optimize marketing and help you make smarter decisions throughout the process. And for employers, VOC work can be critical to ensure conversion rates stay high or even show improvement, especially within that e-commerce space. But there are other digital areas that can benefit from knowing the full context of the digital ecosystem. Think about adding customer journey work within the selection process for, say, MarTech initiatives to ensure the solution you choose helps improve your customer experience. The last trend I have for you today is all about chatbots. We've been hearing a lot about chatbots for quite a while now. But because of natural language processing, chatbots might finally get the widespread attention that has been predicted. And I think chatbots will also fuel the need to align disparate data sources, as chatbot data will no doubt be stored in a completely separate area from any web analytics or marketing campaign data. So again, what does this mean for professionals? Chatbot data will enable direct consumer feedback, but combining new data into established data always comes with risks. And above all, accuracy and consistency need to be considered in order to ensure a successful process. And this will most likely be a long and agile process, so keeping up with milestones and objectives along the way will help ensure buy-in throughout the process. And think of all the other possibilities. Integrating disparate data sources could demonstrate technical tools and allow for real-world examples to showcase your newly acquired SQL skills, for instance. All of this might just give you a few examples to showcase your curiosity to other team members and to leadership in particular. And for employers, just like with VOC data, integrating chatbot data allows direct insight into consumer feedback. This makes finding the right team members and tools to harness the power of this data critical. Additionally, a commitment of resources for data integration will help employees feel empowered to make actionable recommendations based on their findings. This brings us to one area to watch, and that area is the General Data Protection Regulation, or GDPR for short. GDPR is a very broad legislation, and it's currently specific to the European Union, so I'm going to be very brief in our description today. But for now, let's think of it as the transparency between the corporation and the end consumer. And that's for both B2B and B2C interactions. The phrase I've heard most associated with this is correct marketing to the correct person. So it is way too early to tell the full impact of GDPR for digital and web analytics teams, but it might have some interesting implications on digital data. Specifically for tools that use third-party data like Adobe Analytics or even internal CRM systems, this could present a significant headache for any marketer looking to retarget consumers. If you're interested in learning more, Linda Burtch has highlighted this trend along with a few other areas in her 2019 predictions, and I highly recommend going and checking that out. It's currently posted on the Burtch Works website if you would like to hear more. And that is it. Those are my predictions for this year. So we'll have to take a look back at the end of 2019 and see how I did. I do want to take a quick minute to thank all of you for joining me today, and please do keep in touch. I would love to help any of you with your recruiting needs, or I'm happy to help you think about your own career strategy. But with that, I'll hand things back over to Mary, who does have a few announcements before we get into the Q&A.
Thanks, Kate. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Burtch Works, we are an executive recruiting firm specializing in quantitative fields like analytics, data science, digital analytics, and marketing research. We're the leading resource for quantitative talent, jobs, and insights about the hiring market, and produce comprehensive salary reports for our main specialty areas, which can be downloaded for free at burtchworks.com/study. If you're looking to add to your digital analytics staff, we'd be happy to speak with you and do some brainstorming. We offer contingency and retained services from entry-level analysts all the way up to chief digital officer searches. Just send an email to info@burtchworks.com to learn more. If you're looking to browse for new opportunities, you can check out our targeted job board, which is trafficked by thousands of digital and web professionals in a variety of specialties. For more insights, check out burtchworks.com/blog, where you can find information on explaining digital projects and interviews, Adobe versus Google Analytics, creating targeted resumes, and in-demand skills. You can also follow Burtch Works across our social media channels to stay up to date on our latest research. At youtube.com/BurtchWorks, you can find recordings of our other presentations, including SAS/R Python data analysis, our career series with executive leadership coach Tim Resnier, and recap videos of our salary studies. Up next in our webinar schedule is a career planning session with two of our data science and analytics recruiters, Flora Zhang and Stefan Valentine. This information-packed event will include insights on what companies look for, interview preparation, common mistakes, salary and hiring trends, a live Q&A, and much more. If you have questions about quantitative job search process, make sure you register. And now back to our regularly scheduled programming, the Q&A. So let's jump in, and feel free to continue sending your questions and using the chat box on your screen. All right, Kate, first question. What would you recommend if I wanted to increase my technical skills?
Definitely a great question. And as I alluded to, there are so many sources right now that are out on the web for easy ways to pick up some technical skills, specifically if you're looking to pick up SQL or something else. There are a lot of resources that are both paid and not paid. And one of the resources that I see a lot of is lynda.com. I always recommend people to check their library and see if your library has a subscription, and using just your library card you can access that, because that is a great starting off point, specifically if you're not sure which technical skills that you want to jump into. There are some other programs on the web that have small fees associated with them. One is DataCamp. There's another one, Code Academy. Those are all pretty good resources as well. And then the big thing I hear is, should I go and get into a boot camp? If you're just trying to pick up some technical skills to help with your current role, I would hold off on those. Definitely consult someone within your organization to see what the overall plan might be, because boot camps can be a significant time and money investment, and you don't necessarily want to go down that rabbit hole unless you know that there is backing internally and that it will lead to some other career path. Also with the boot camps, they tend to be very, very technical and much more for predictive analytics or data science professionals. So if you're looking for a complete career change, that could be an interesting route. But for just picking up a few technical skill sets, definitely lynda.com, DataCamp, and Codecademy are some of the top ones I see.
Thank you, Kate. The next question we have is, you say that employers are looking for curious professionals, but how do I actually show that to a potential employer?
Definitely a great question. I think the easiest thing to do is to just evaluate any type of KPIs or project objectives you're using to report on your current workload. Are you monitoring the correct objectives? Are you monitoring the correct KPIs? Talk to your senior leaders on board and ask them questions like, what other questions do you have? Is there something you would like us to find out more about? The other thing is digging into a KPI a little bit further to isolate if you can actually find out what the correlation is, what's causing it, talking to some other more analytical professionals within your team to see if there's any ways that you can get further down that rabbit hole. It's always good to just start with questions, and then you'll find that it opens up a lot of doors for you.
All right, great. I think we have time for one final question here. So besides Salesforce, what else should I be learning? There are a lot of MarTech tools available. They're growing every day. Some of the ones that I'm seeing, Salesforce has become the most popular that I've seen as of late. But I know Adobe also has a lot of connected cloud tools, a lot of CRM functionality, as well as Adobe Analytics, and then of course that kind of winds into some of their more creative tools as well. So they have a large offering that's becoming more popular. Microsoft has also got a suite of tools that are becoming more pronounced in the work as well. I'm starting to see more and more people have Microsoft Dynamics work. And Oracle has been a mainstay within the business world for CRM work, but not as much progress in MarTech at this point in time. So definitely some tools to keep an eye on are Salesforce, some of the Adobe Cloud tools, and the Microsoft tools, especially now that all of them kind of seamlessly integrate together. And some of the other tools that I'm starting to see some movement on are HubSpot. I'm seeing a few more people have work within HubSpot, so it could be a little bit of a tool to keep an eye on. And then for CRM work, there's one called Sugar CRM that I'm seeing much more movement in as well. So lots and lots of tools out there. I think the best thing to do is just benchmark the industry and keep reevaluating to see what the players are, what they're doing, and if there is someone who's offering something more significant than you're currently using. All right. Thank you so much for answering those questions, and thank you to everybody who submitted questions to us. That's all the time we have for today. But if you'd like to discuss your hiring plans or see if we have roles that are a fit for your experience, please email info@burtchworks.com to start the process. And thank you so much to all of you for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.